Namaste, my beautiful friends. Welcome to Yoga Bliss with Shelly. And I'm Shelly. Today's practice is yoga for back pain. And to get the full benefits from today's practice, I encourage you to grab yourself a yoga block and a couch blanket. If you don't have these, you can still jump in today's practice. And let's unroll the mat, unpeel the edges, and together let us do Welcome back, my beautiful friends. Join me in a laying position. So I know if you have back pain, it can be hard and it can be a challenge to get down onto the ground. So I definitely recommend a nicely folded blanket for the support of your spine and your back. So however this looks for you, again, I get it. I know if your back is sore, that's why you're doing this practice. It's going to take you time. So take your time, and I really encourage you to slowly and mindfully from the core, exhale yourself onto the earth. And you can do that by planting the feet firmly into the earth, activating through the core, and slowly melting back. Wonderful work, my beautiful friends. So we're going to begin with a little breath practice to help us kind of clear some of the thoughts. So you can just root your feet a little bit wider than the hip distance, even if you can get your feet to the edges of the mat. And allow yourself to maybe put your hands on your belly or palms facing up high to the sky. We're going to start with 10 breaths. So just allowing yourself to bring a lengthened inhale into the tummy and to let it float away. Exhale maybe like you're blowing through a straw. Bringing a nice fluid breath in and exhaling it out. And really allowing yourself, my friends, to hear your voice, because in yoga, I didn't mean voice, I meant breath. So in yoga, using your breath like it is your voice. So bringing that breath in and letting it go, almost like it's a windy day, bringing that breath in. And allowing it to flow away. Fluid breath in. Push it away. And taking 5 more of those at your own pace. Last one, make it count. Big inhale, expanding at the ribs and the diaphragm. Exhale, sighing it out. Wonderful work, my friends. From here, we're going to slowly take our time and we're going to activate our core. And I know sometimes that can be something that can sound like a challenge. And all it is you're drawing the navel or the belly button back towards the spine, because we're creating this awareness around our core. And often our back gets injured because we don't have a lot of awareness in our core. So bringing that awareness, then we're going to inhale, and we're going to bring, if you're laying side by side with me, you're going to bring the right knee up towards the right armpit. And however this works for you, you're going to slowly exhale, sweeping that foot all the way down to the ground, and you can lengthen it long. And if it's feeling like, oh gosh, I can't lengthen that leg long on the floor, you can bend it, or you can also grab that block, or if you have another blanket, you could roll a blanket underneath of the knee and put it here, because sometimes you just need a little bit of a support. So we're gonna inhale, bringing that right knee for a half of a wind reliever, and we're gonna just slowly make circles. And I know that when we have back pain, it can be really sticky, poppy, and painful. So just take it slow at your own pace. So you're gonna really inhale, and really inhale, and then exhale deeply into those tight spots that you have going. And I want you to really utilize the ball and socket joint on the hip as well. So we use our arm strength, right? And we're gonna create carving these little circles. We're gonna inhale in. So you're going one direction, and let's take 2 full more rotations. And I just we're making circles here if that is working for you. Or if that's not, you can also just do kind of right, left, and then up and back if that feels good for you. And just really stretch into that back. And especially there's this big muscle called the iliopsoas in the back that can be a huge problematic muscle, or it can get inflamed and irritated, and it can have lots of injuries. So that could be one of the muscles in the back. So if you were going one direction, like a circle, I encourage you to go the opposite direction. And again, really work into those, even in the hip, in those crickety, crunchity, poppity, ouchity spots, and use that breath to breathe it in. Excuse me, and let it go. And then maybe just taking that moment again and just kind of rocking side to side, go right, left, and then inhale to the chest, exhale here. Awesome work. So we're going to slowly from that core, by hugging the navel back towards the spine, exhale the foot onto the earth. Okay, from the core, same thing. We're going to, if you had that block, you can kind of kick it up with the heel for yourself. And from here, we're going to inhale that left leg, opposite leg, up towards the same sided armpit, and then you're going to drive the heel, exhaling it long to the mat. And again, if your back is like killing you and it's hurting so bad, give yourself a little bit of support underneath of that knee or the upper thigh. That can feel really good too. And then once again, we're going to just tune into that ball and socket joint, as well as that back, that spine is lengthened on the mat. And you can just feel into those spinal muscles, slow and steady. Excuse me. Joy wants to play fetch. Of course he does. No fetch right now, Joy. We're going to inhale, rocking side to side, so right and left. Good job. Just slowly taking it side to side. And inhale up and exhale. So it's like driving the knee up towards the chest, towards the heart. And then exhale the heel down to the earth. Inhale it up. But not quite bringing that heel down. So trying yourself, testing out how it's feeling. And you can even just grab with the hand that's on that same side and go in these little circles. And then you can pause and go in the opposite direction here. Slowly going in the opposite direction. Joy was being a little stinker today, and he escaped, and I had to sprint after him down a very busy road. And he scared me very badly. So little naughty boy, but I love him. He just wants to sprint. He's like a Chihuahua Terrier who likes to run. It's like that. My son's like that song, I Just Want to Run, from The Flash. It's like, I just want to run, holding away. And it might be flying away, but that's what Joy always wants to do. So just tapping into that hip. Awesome work, my friends. Okay, from here, we're going to exhale down. Then we're going to bend both of the knees into the earth. Both of the knees up while we're really pressing the feet down into the earth here. And then we're going to just, from the core, inhale, and then we're going to inhale both the knees up. From here, you're going to grab the knees, right? So we're rocking. We're going to just take a moment and intuitively, or not even intuitively, just feel, breathe into wherever it's feeling tight or sore, and you can rock side to side. You're just really massaging the spine on the earth. And I know sometimes our spine likes to pop up, especially if we have that spinal injury or spinal tightness or whatever's going on in the muscles and the nerve endings in the back. So really just breathe into that space. And you can do circles if that feels good, side to side. Inhale up, exhale heels down, and just feeling into that space. And from here, just allowing yourself to rock a little bit. And then one more time from the core, we're going to exhale one foot slowly, mindfully down. From the core, other foot slowly and mindfully down. I have dog balls. Joy wants to play fetch. So from here, we're going to do a supported bridge variation. So this is where the block is going to be your super duper friend, especially if you have something rocking in the back that's not really settling with you. You can also just do this from the back and just try it flat on the earth. If you do have that block, I encourage you to grab it, rooting the feet into the earth and activating again through that navel towards the spine. We're going to drive the hips up high to the sky. And that might be a little sensitive or feel ouchy. So what we're going to do is we're going to find our block underneath and we're going to lay it flat. See how it's flat? And the wider part is going to be hitting the earth. Some people do like to try it with the skinnier, narrower part up top. I personally am not one of those people, so you can try both. So really just check in, and you're going to rest this kind of towards the base of the coccyx, which is like that last little tail of the spine. And just kind of find what feels good for you. So try moving it up higher in the back if that is feeling like, ooh, that feels really good. Or if that's like, oh, that's really painful. So just kind of feel into your body. I like to get mine kind of like halfway down to my booty cheeks there. And then you can really just allow the body to drape a little bit over. And we're just gonna rest in this supported bridge for about 5 breaths. So really just allow the hips to kind of melt down and allow the spine to soften up while it softens also, and it's kind of jolting the tops of the shoulders here. So the arms can be at the sides, or you can choose to cactus them here, and we're going to bring a breath to the 3 count in and to the 5 count out. So bringing 3 in, 1, 2, 3. Exhale 5 out. Inhale, 3 count in. And exhale, 5 count out. 3 more of those at your own pace. Really breathing into any tension or tightness or soreness. Making this last breath count as you inhale into 3. Lengthen to the 5 out. Wonderful. So from that core again, we're going to inhale, bringing that right knee up towards the chest here. And we're going to just take it slow and steady. We're going to kind of kick that heel up a little bit over the knee, and then we're going to cross the midsection for this figure 4. And just tune into how that's feeling, if that's feeling good or not. You can kind of help yourself out. You can push into the tops of the thighs, giving a little bit more of that stretch in that spine as you breathe that breath in. And remembering that breath is one of your most powerful forces. And especially when we're healing from injuries or we have soreness or tension in the body, the breath is like that gateway. Just like you can imagine the breath, it's like the key to you unlock, and you can open the gate and start walking into your healing of your body as you bring that breath in. Exhaling it out. And you can just try this out. We're going to take that left heel and just slowly drive it down, and just to your comfort. So maybe if just having the heel into the earth and pointing the toes up to the ceiling feels good, or if it's like, oh yeah, that's the spot, you can lengthen that leg long. Just feel, again, if it's feeling like, oh, that's too much, bring it back up. It's this fine line between the edge. It's that space between too much and not enough, because if we have a spinal injury or anything happening like that, we don't want to aggravate it or make it worse. We're just trying to help encourage it to keep this movement in the body, because we need to still move our bodies even if we have injuries. It's very important. Very important for everything. So again, from the tummy, we're going to inhale and just bringing that opposite foot up. And you can kind of interlace underneath. And this again could be something that could be, oh my gosh, that's too much. So if that's feeling too much, you can just allow that to kind of drop down. Or if it's feeling like, oh yes, that's the spot, you can bring that in, and you can also drive that heel a little bit high to the sky. And you can also just kind of do little pulses as you bring it up, exhale down. Inhale it up, exhale down. Bring it up, let it go down. So slowly, down to the earth. And then from that midsection, we're gonna uncross. And P.S., great tip that I love, when you cross the midsection, you grow brain cells. We all need that. So from here, we're gonna inhale as we kind of hug like we were doing that half Apanasana. And then we're gonna exhale, if it feels good for you, that leg down on the earth, the leg, and lay it long. But again, if it's too much, you can always stay bent here. And once again, we're just gonna kind of tap in to the body and what it's feeling like. And then from here, we're gonna just exhale and touch the ground with the foot. And then we're gonna just kind of press into that upper thigh. And by pressing in that upper thigh, it's kind of spiraling around those back muscles and just allowing that stretch. So really use your breath again as one of your powerful forces. So bringing that breath in and letting it go long. Good. Bring it in. Exhale if you can through the nose. 2 more nasal breaths if your nose will allow you. If not, you can rock out and inhale through the nose and exhale through the mouth. Just knowing that nasal breath is much more healthier and proactive for your body. And if you want to learn more, this wonderful book, Breathe, will be your friend. It will help you understand the importance of nasal breathing. Breathe that breath in. Let it go. Good work. Let it go. Yes. From here, so from that navel, right, just almost like you're pushing the belly button back towards the spine, and that's just helping us activate through the core. And even when we're doing these poses on our back, and then we're going to inhale, bringing that knee up. Okay, once again, be mindful of that core, activate, make that core strong, like this corset or this belt around your waist. So we're going to inhale, bring the left knee up, just giving a little hug, slowly with the heel driving up to the ceiling, but just raising it a couple inches above the knee. That is grounded into earth across that midsection. Grow those brain cells, and making this figure 4 for a moment, this laying figure 4. Just breathing into this figure 4. And just being mindful of how the hips are. Sometimes one hip likes to super pop up, sometimes it likes to sag way down. And just being aware of how it's feeling and where you're feeling it in your spine and in the back body. Are you feeling it down low in that lower vertebrae, in the middle, or in the upper back area? Where are you feeling it? This all is all connected and all correlated. And now we're going to see, how does it feel if you exhale? Can you rock that out? Is that feeling good for you? If you can exhale that leg long on the earth for this kind of laying figure 4, and you can breathe into that, or do you need more of that support? Notice your body, notice where it's feeling tight, where you're having tension. And again, just really be open in your body and open to accepting and listening to what your body is communicating with you, because your body will tell you if it's like a hot ping burning, oh, okay, that's too much. That's your edge. That's like, all right, here I am, I'm good. So finding that with that big breath in. Good work. Let it go. Breathing that breath in and letting it go. And there's no shame or anything or judgment about where you are and if you need to adjust your body. This is your practice. So from here, again, from that tummy, we're going to inhale, encouraging ourselves to lift that knee up. And again, if it's too much, you can just stay down in this figure 4. If you're feeling like, oh, that's working, that's good. Feeling if you have any cricky poppies, you can also roll out the ankles a little bit here. And again, just testing, how is it feeling if you exhale, digging that heel up high to the sky. Oof. If that's feeling good, that's feeling good for me. But again, if your iliopsoas is really inflamed or irritated, it might be better to stay down. So again, yoga is a practice and not a perfect, and it's definitely not a one-size-fits-all. So just find the variation that works best for you. And if you want, you can do these little pulses as you inhale up, exhale, and then pulse back. So you're just like kind of, it's very slow and isolated. So tuning into 4 breaths here. Two more. Exhale out. Yes. Last one. Awesome work. From here, the center, right? Bringing that core together, and even if you need to, put your hands on your belly to feel that inner strength. And no matter your perception of your tummy or core, it's strong, it holds you up all day. So slowly unwinding, uncrossing that, growing those brain cells once again. We're going to just root the feet into the earth, and we're going to try this out. So see if it feels better to just stay in this supported variation, or see if you could just slowly let the leg, one leg go long. And if you need to keep a little bit of a bend, that's okay. It just depends on the tightness in the hamstrings, right, and the tightness in the hips, and what's going on in the body. And also, right, you can be doing this from the earth. So feeling into this and just seeing what feels best for your body. And again, just allowing that strength to work, the stretch to work itself all the way up through the body, right? Because even though we're doing these stretches for our back, we're feeling this in our legs, right? We're feeling this in our glutes, which is that booty muscles. We're feeling this openness in the core, this openness in the heart, and even the shoulders. And if the shoulders are allowed, you can even try to kind of walk them together, like pinching the blades together and opening the heart up, if that feels good. If your upper back is giving you a hard time, you can just keep it more relaxed on the earth. Just, again, tuning into that body here. We're going to take 5 of those breaths. So it's 3 count in. So, right, just count 1, 2, 3 in on the inhale, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on the exhale. I'll kind of hold my hand up, but do your best to look up at the ceiling. And if you can find something around you, I have these lovely plants I can gaze at. So let's start here. Two more breaths left, my friends. Wonderful work. From here, take it slow. One heel sliding up, driving the heel on the earth towards the sit bones, really pressing and grounding into the earth. Opposite foot, really rooting. Now we're really going to press the feet into the earth as we activate through the core, bringing up, up, up. Ooh, it can be a little tricky. Maybe wiggle down the booty. Finding the self flat on the earth. And from here, my friends, we're going to just do our best to exhale the legs long. We're going to bring the arms overhead, but sometimes it can be hard because the arm can be restricted from, if it is like that iliopsoas muscle. So if you need to take more of this cactus, just kind of tune it to your body. And we're going to just slowly kind of heel up, heel over. We're going to walk the feet just to one side, and then we're going to do our best to bring our top body that way. But maybe that muscle's being like, oh, it's so tight, so maybe you need to stay in the middle. But just trying your best. We're kind of coming into this more, this laying banana pose. The banana, or like this hammock that you would put between 2 swings, and you would lay in and rock side to side. So just allowing your body, and you can really allow this openness, expansiveness in the side body, and then a compression in the opposite side body. So just allowing yourself to breathe that breath in and letting it go. Allowing your body to curve however it will allow. Bringing that breath in and letting it go. 2 more breaths. Beautiful work. So just meeting you back at center, right? So we're just going to slowly from the tummy, bring one heel up. And if you need to do little walkings, you can bring the hands back to center. We're going to go the opposite direction. So right, walking one heel over, other heel over. However your arms are doing in your shoulders, because sometimes it can send like this pinging nerve pain down. So just be aware if that's happening. Maybe you want to just chill in a cactus neutral spine. Or maybe you can allow your body to just a little ways walk over. And again, feel into your body, because it's not a one size fits all. It's a wherever you are today, because where I am today, or you are today, it's not going to be the same as tomorrow. And it's definitely not going to be the same as it was last week or last year or 5 years, 10 years ago. Our bodies are these ever-changing, evolving things. Allow yourself to bring that breath in and let it go. Bringing that breath in. Beautiful work, letting it go. Big breath here. Expand. Last one. And slowly, however it works for you, maybe back at center. Doink, doink. However this looks for you in your spine, I know some people can just rock out like hug yourself if you can sit up. I know that for some people, it's not gonna work like that, and you're gonna have to do a more like, however you need to crawl your way up. So tune into your body, do what works best for you. Awesome work, my friends. And from here, you're just gonna meet me in this tabletop position, and we're gonna root the hands into the earth here. And we're doing our best to just align the hands underneath of the shoulders and tune into your knees. Like sometimes the knees like to go really high or really far back, and that can not as much help our hips. So we just want to kind of do like a little check. So just check out, trace your knee to your hip. And as we're tuning our hands into the earth, you want to do this slow, gentle rotation of bringing the eyes of the elbows towards the short edge of the mat. I know especially for people who practice a lot, we just kind of jump into things and then we can injure ourselves. So find that integrity and in the spine, and we're gonna do a few cow and cats, and we're gonna just arch or make that spine nice and curved, high, 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 like that beautiful cat. We're gonna tuck the tail into the chin here, big breath here. Exhale, slow and mindfully, allow the sit bones to go high up to the sky. Ah ha ha, that always is such a good back one. Take 4 of these at your own pace. And one whole one is going to be a full cow and cat. Last one, make it count, big breath. Awesome work, my friends. From here, we're gonna take it slow and steady. We're gonna walk that right foot forward. So right, if you need a helping hand, you can just give yourself a little boink, a doink, a doink, 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 and help yourself out and get yourself where you need to. And you're setting yourself up like you're on a train track or a set of skis or whatever resonates with you. You want your feet more further apart versus like you're walking like on a tightrope. You wanna give your body more balance and support, right? So we're gonna root the front foot into the earth. We're tracking that hind foot back behind us, right? Opposed to being up like this. I lost an earring. Earring down. That's why you don't wear earrings when you practice yoga. Sometimes they're really pretty and make you feel good. So that's why we do these things. So we root into the earth from that core and the back, right? Because our core is actually attached to these back muscles, right? It all wraps together. So we're gonna activate through the core and just spiraling all the way around to the back. We're gonna inhale, giving ourselves a cactus here. Big inhale, let it go. If it's in your back practice, if it's in your spine today, if it's allowing you today, you're gonna just gently tip that heart, tipping the upper body, the shoulders back, and giving yourself this very gentle back bend for a crescent lunge, right? And just allowing, if that feels good, if you're like, oh, my spine is not feeling good with that today, or if it's feeling good, maybe just give yourself a little bit, or if you can just let it open up. Bring that breath in, let it go. Let's do 4 more. Let's do the 3 count in, 5 count out. Allowing yourself to find a drishti, a visual point, as you really bring that breath in. And I really encourage, if you have houseplants, or maybe you have a fish tank or a pet or something living or a picture that you really love, a drum over here, use that as your focal point. And there's this, you can use this like symbolism of like, I'm looking at this plant and I can see the beauty and the life in it, and I can notice that in myself. I always, for me, that's like what, it's a huge pull of yoga to me. It's, you can look into things and you can find that reflection within yourself as you bring that breath in and let it go. Last one, you've got this. You're doing so good. And then we're going to slowly exhale those hands down to the earth, and then we're going to just step however you need to step back into that tabletop. And if you need to kind of wiggle out, I know my knee was feeling like it was like super jammed into the earth. So maybe if you need to take a long leg, wiggle it out, find a little free movement that feels good for you. My yoga mat likes to fall off of this rug, so set yourself up for success. So once again, we're gonna go to the opposite side, step that foot forward, help yourself if you need to. And then from that core, that tummy, we're gonna wrap that strength all the way into those back muscles. Stretch that spine long, root those feet into the earth, finding that inner strength. And let's start from the sit bones and kind of just let it wrap around the tummy and all the way from the lower section of the back, the spine, the middle section of the spine, and all the way up to the shoulders. And then we're gonna exhale our arms into this cactus, right? Like this, like we're stick them up, hello, or this flowy cactus. Not so much a cactus because a cactus doesn't have that 90-degree angle. However, you can Gumby your arms if that feels good for you. And if it's in your spine, if it's in your practice today, you can join me with just gently tipping back that upper body while we're still driving the hips forward, right? So we're keeping this beautiful shape in our body. And really, even through the thighs, you're gonna really hug those together, hugging through that core. And you can really feeling it hugging through the back and that iliopsoas, this big strip of muscle that just races down the back on both sides. Breathe that breath in. Really breathe the breath into those tight and crickety spots, right? Or even if the shoulders are tight and crickety. 2 more. Finding that drishti, that still visual point. Finding your reflection of yourself in whatever it is that you're seeing. I see this drum over here. It's like this strength and this vibrational matter within this beautiful instrument, right? It's within me, within my voice. Breathing that breath in. Yes, letting it go. And then from here, my beautiful friends, we're going to kind of set ourselves up. So if you have the blankie, you're going to want to scooch that over because we don't want to trip. So what we're going to do is we're going to stand up on that hind foot. Oh, what was that? So from here, we're going to use that core strength and we're going to stand up, right? So the toes are going to be pointing to the short edge of the mat. So from here, we're going to inhale, raising up. We're going to meet in a Virabhadrasana 1. In this warrior 1, right, we're going to root the feet into the earth, the hind leg and the front leg. Even when our back is bothering us, it's really important to use the rest of our body. We can really tune into our back and our spine from here. So if it feels good for you, you can bend and put the arms at the sides as you root into the earth and really just tune into this front foot and this hind foot. You don't want to be locking the hind knee. You want to micro bend to the joint. We always want to keep these soft, supple joints because we don't want to be damaging our joints. Locking your joints is going to damage them. So we want to keep them healthy by keeping this micro bend here and really root it into the earth and do your best to maybe reach down, trace a line from your ankle to your knee. Inhale, hands at sides, first variation. Second option, that cactus again at the sides. Or if you're allowing, you can bring the arms high to the sky here. And again, find that edge. If it's like, ooh, too much, shoulders are not vibing, find that space in your body. 5 count. 3 in, 5 out. And we're gonna do it 5 times. Ready? Bring that breath in. Exhale it out. Tune into that drishti, that visual point. Find yourself in the things surrounding you. Even something as simple as, a fireplace or a table that's strong and sturdy in the earth. On the ground, a chair, a couch. People sit for comfort, right? A floor for walking, for supporting, for holding, for living in, right? There's so many metaphors all around your living space. 2 more of those breaths. Awesome work. Beautiful work, my friends. From here, we're going to just exhale, bringing that foot up. And we're going to just step forward and meet in a mountain, which is just both feet on the earth. Then we're just going to step back that opposite foot, do the same thing on the opposite side. So right, the opposite foot, toes are going to track towards the corner of the mat. Find that micro bend in the knee, find that rooted into the earth. that front foot. If you notice, mine was way too far forward, so I'm going to step it back. Whoop. And right, if you lose your balance, it's okay. We're all just people, and we are where we are. So really root those 4 corners in the feet. In yoga, there's 2 corners. So say this is the sole of your foot, that top pad, and then the heel, pressing those into the earth. Hips go to the short edge of the mat. Inhale, find length in that spine. Tune into how it's feeling in the spine. If it's trying to arch forward, or if it's feeling really ouchy, give yourself some support by putting the hands on the hips. Or if you are feeling it in your practice today, exhaling this 90-degree angled bend, cactus hands. Or if you're feeling like it, you can exhale the hands, spirit fingers up high to the sky. So taking 5 of these breaths, and maybe this time scanning in your environment, finding something new to gaze at. Really using that breath in. So this might sound silly, but I'm gazing at my daughter's rotary phone. For Christmas this year, she wanted a pink, old-fashioned rotary phone with the little numbers that you, and I'm looking at that thinking, that is a way to communicate with people that we love and to connect with the world around us. That's such a helpful tool. And we also have that innate ability built within our intuition, right? It's like yesterday I heard a song on the radio that reminded me of my dad. So I called him and I connected with him like that way. So think of yourself as like that telephone. We can connect with people, and even if it's just in our heart by sending a kind thought, or if we call someone or send a text or an email, right? It's wonderful. Awesome work, my friends. One more big breath. Let it go. Here we go. Now we're going to slowly just step forward. Wiggle out the ankles. And I have one more pose for you. So however this looks for you, we're going to make our way down to the mat. So if you want to rock out a forward fold, and you can go to a plank onto your knees, that's awesome. If your back is really getting you and you need to just kind of take it slow and make it down like this, right? Take it down however you want. Or if you're like, yes, I can forward fold, hands, plank to the earth, melt. Whatever works best for you. So this last pose we're going to do is going to be on our belly, and we're going to need our blanket for that. If you don't have a blanket, I strongly recommend you to pause this and grab a blanket, and what we're going to do with it is we're going to take it, we're going to roll it. So we're going to first fold it nicely, and we're going to roll it, and we're going to put it under the tops of our thighs. So we're going to take our time, and we're slowly going to roll, right? Got this nice roll. And from here, however this looks for you, so we're going to bring this back, and the idea is that we want this to be kind of setting. It's not going to sit on the top. We're going to be on our bellies on the earth, but in the mid of the thigh. And this is going to help stretch our back, and it's going to feel really good. So the blanket is lovely to have. So we're going to slowly, from a tabletop, we're just going to walk forward, and almost like we're doing a chaturanga. If you're newer to the practice of yoga, it's kind of like a push-up. So we're going to just slowly melt our bodies down to the earth and come onto the belly. And so allowing that blanket to find its support. Wiggle until you find your space with your legs. And the spacing, whether you want them closer together, mine feels better to have them a few inches open and apart. Let the tops of the feet rest into the earth. And perhaps if you can allow yourself to soften the gaze, or close your eyes, or focus in on something else new. And from here, right, the world is like a whole new perception. I can see under the coffee table. I can see the ceiling, and it feels very far away. I feel very small, almost like a little baby again. So allow yourself to breathe into the back of the legs and just let this stretch kind of make its way, spiraling up through the hips and through the back, and just allowing yourself to just soften here. And maybe wiggling out the hips and slowly side to siding the hips, kind of spiraling up to the midsection of the back and the shoulders, maybe even wiggling the shoulders if that feels good. You just have to find in your body what feels good. And sometimes being static and still feels great. And other times, a little bit of movement, especially if the mind is going crazy. I know for me, when I've got lots of energy flowing, I can't just stay still in poses. I need to move that energy. So allowing your spine, your back to just Soften and open here. So just bringing your awareness on your breath once more. And we're going to take 5 more of those breaths. So bringing that breath in. 3 count in, 5 count out. And I encourage you, if you haven't already, close your eyes to a 3 count in and a 5 count out. Really allowing that back to soften, letting the spine soften, letting the muscles in the back to soften. And really allowing yourself to relax. Maybe it's the first time you've allowed yourself to relax all day. And maybe you didn't expect to relax inside of a yoga practice, but that's what we're doing. Letting that breath flow away. 1 more, bringing that breath in. And letting it go. Awesome work, my beautiful friends. And so from here, however it looks for you, and it's going to be different for us all, especially if your back is really irritated. Maybe you can kind of do your best to get your hands under the shoulders, right? And I really encourage you to, instead of flapping the elbows out like a push-up, hug the elbows in towards the rib cage, like knitting them together and pushing the weight back on the knees, and then allowing yourself to push up like so. If you have a shoulder injury, how I had a month ago, that might not be in your practice, so you might need to kind of more squirrel your way onto a side and sit up and get on your sit bone. So find what feels good. And we're just gonna finish, actually I said one more, and we're gonna finish just with a little sitting twist. So I'm gonna take that same blanket, we're gonna put it under our sit bones, our booty. So putting that on your sit bones and allowing yourself just to kind of sit on the edge of that. And I know, like, people like my dad have more restriction in their hips. So dad, if you're practicing this, or whoever's practicing this who has a restriction in their hips, put your feet however work best for you. I almost rolled off of the back of my blanket. So know that that is also a possibility. Proceed with caution. So put your feet however works best for you. You don't have to sit in a Sukhasana, but if your body is allowing you to sit in a crisscross applesauce, do it. And we're just gonna take a seated twist. So we're gonna find a little length in the spine. Then we're gonna take a big inhale. Then we're gonna twist from this lower section to the tummy, to the middle section, and then finally the upper body. And this might look like this for you. You might just be going a little bit towards the knee. Or if you're like, oh, I can go a little bit further, you can reach for the knee and behind you and twist. And again, if your twist is here, you do you. You do not worry about other people or judgments of what you think a pose should look like. You feel into that spine. And we're just softening, right? We're twisting out, we're wringing out the spine. Using that breath to come in and flow away. And taking 4 of these at your own pace. And perhaps finding something new to gaze at. I'm finding on this beautiful mountain painting, if you've seen some of my classes with my mountain painting, and just looking into whatever it is and perhaps seeing little glimmers of yourself, or just allowing yourself to be completely present in what you're looking at. Noticing the edges, noticing the lines, noticing the texture, even noticing the smells around you, even if it's like you that's smelling funny or different, or you're like, that deodorant smells good today. I need to put that on more often. Breathing that breath in. Awesome. Slow and mindfully back at that center. We're going to twist to that left side. So again, we're going to start down low. It's going to kind of originate here and that all the way down. Lowers the spine. And then slowly twisting. If your twist is just here where you're only facing that knee on the left, that's okay. If your spine is allowing a little bit more, perhaps you can twist a little bit past that. Again, listen to your body. Find what feels good for you as you choose 5 breaths that work good for you. And now we're on a new side, so find something new. I'm looking in my kitchen at my oven. Like, I don't know if I can see myself in my oven, but I love my oven. So I'm going to be present with it. So bring that breath in. And let it go. Use that breath in. Let it go. Really wringing out those toxins in the spine, detoxifying the body. It's almost like, imagine yourself soaking a giant, like I think of a white towel and they soak it in like dirty, nasty water, and then you pick it up and just wringing it out. That's what we're doing with our spine. We're detoxifying, letting that go. One more breath, letting it go. Awesome work. And slowly meeting back at center, and just bringing those palms, kissing palms to your heart, and just acknowledging your back and all that it does for you and your core, and just giving love and gratitude, and even just sending that a thought of healing to your spine, healing to your back muscles, healing and love. And just bowing and honoring the love and the light within you. Namaste. Thank you so much for practicing with me, my beautiful friends. I love you all so much. And I really encourage you to take it slow, be kind to yourself, be kind to your spine. And if you have a spinal injury that is persisting, you can definitely repeat this practice as many times as needed, or come back to it when your back is flaring up. I'm grateful for you. I will see you back here very soon. Bye.